Rural Pennsylvania is the heart of the Amish farming community. Things are done the old-fashioned way. It's all down to horsepower here. And that's exactly how the Zook family farmed their 40 acres of corn, beans, tomatoes, and pumpkins. Becky and Ephraim have been married 14 years and have 6 children between the ages of 2 and 13. Our 6 English teenagers are arriving in the thick of it. It's harvest time.
Yeah, it's definitely tomato picking.
Yeah, definitely tomato picking.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Becky.
Hello, Becky.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Charlotte. I'm John Mark.
John Mark. Hi, John Mark.
Hello, I'm Martha.
My husband is out baling hay.
Oh, right.
And 2 of the other children.
The Zooks are what we call born-again Amish and take their Christian values very seriously.
We're hearing that you boys want to help. Is that how it is?
Yeah.
So we usually eat supper like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
And when does work finish as such?
In the evening? That's a good question.
Before our English friends can get to work harvesting, they need to get into more appropriate clothing.
This one looks massive.
Mine looks shorter than yours, guys.
Do you put
High
the
praise.
apron things through the hole at the back? I can tie it. That's too tight? No, that's perfect.
A couple of the girls' dresses were very, very short, you know. I was glad when they had longer dresses on for the children's sake.
I think I've done my hair really neatly. I'm well impressed. This shows that we're learning, Hannah.
Ephraim works from dawn to dusk running the family farm. They have just 1 week to harvest their crops of beans, tomatoes, and hay. It's all hands to the deck. And Ephraim's trusty mules play a big part too.
Hi guys. Well, my name is Ephraim Zook. Glad to meet you guys. Well, what we're doing here is we're baling hay. Have you guys ever seen hay being baled before or anything?
No.
Okay. So my goal is I need to get this done before dark. So you ready to get to work?
Yeah.
Work up a sweat, get dirty.
Hopefully.
George is going to help you, John Moore. Just be careful when you're moving around on the wagon. You don't want to fall off. When I'm busy and I'm looking to get the job done, then I'm looking for people that can just come in and get in the swing and just make it happen. It's just kind of business as usual. We have work that needs to be done, and we're going to try to get that done.
He seems quite nice, doesn't he?
I think he's pretty cool, to be honest.
I think he's got a strong work ethic, though.
Yeah, he's definitely got that strong work ethic. I wasn't expecting to just jump straight in, though. Bit of a tough one.
Okay, guys, you ready to work? The way you handle hay bales is you pick them up and you throw them. There you go.
Ephraim has a workforce of 1 horse and 4 mules. He depends on them for just about everything, from the planting to the plowing to the harvesting. We value our 4-legged animals for keeping us in bread and butter, and that means they need a whole lot of hay to keep them healthy too.
The true test is endurance. Anybody can do half a load. Most guys can do a load. But once you do 5 or 6 loads, that proves whether you're a man or not.
You know, like they're not too heavy. There's just a lot of them. I'd like to think I could do maybe sort of like 4 or 5 loads. I think the problem with me would be my stamina. I think actually I could probably only do about 2 or 3 loads before I had to have a nap or something.
It's rare that Amish girls and boys work together. We tend to our separate tasks.
Why didn't I wear my shoes?
Not having any
How's your bare feet feeling?
Back there it was a bit of a mission, but...
When it was hard.
So we're just looking for long...
And you kind of have to hold the stalk so it doesn't just break
I
off. They're very tender.
It's quite normal for us to work into the night and even miss supper. But we have to be efficient too, so there's no room for any lightweights.
The kids seem to have that natural Amish work ethic, and they seem to be, all pitching in. I think Elizabeth had been there since 4 o'clock, and she was still more than happy to keep on going.
I think George gets chosen more for the heavy stuff because I think he looks a lot more built than us. Let's be serious, yeah. You're a skinny guy. I'm just overweight. George is perfect build, isn't it?
Every family we meet, George is a doppelganger of someone's cousin, sister or brother. They've always got some sort of relation that looks like George. What was George like?
He was awesome.
Oh, I didn't get an awesome so would you employ George?
I probably would.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
That's flat.
Put that on the CV.
I know.
Possible employment from an Amish man.
That's good.
Okay, yeah, I think our bucket is full and it's time to go. Okay. And one thing, just a tip, when you bend down with your dresses, make sure that it's down here, or boys and stuff, other people could just see right down underneath there.
Not the best idea.
Not the best idea.
Thanks for that tip.
So, like tomorrow you might be helping in the tomato field and you might want to be careful with that. We're very careful with that, with our children and things, to be pure.
As Ephraim's house only has room for the girls, the boys will be staying with his friend and neighbor, Aaron.
Actually, we're pretty good friends and cousins and brothers. We're actually, we have the same daddy, believe it or not. Not in the natural, though. No. Father God in heaven, he's our daddy, both of us. That makes us brothers, right? So he'll take good care of you. He's trustworthy.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good job, guys. See you in the morning.
All right, see you.
Yep, see you, Aaron. See you, Johnny.
Something I noticed about Ephraim, he loves to work. Or even today, he sort of skipped dinner and just carried on working, like even into darkness, sort of with his bare eyes. So he is a workaholic type guy.
Home on the prairie, where does my life go? Home on the prairie, home, home, home. Well, there you go, number one hit all the way home, right now, Pennsylvania, here we go.
We were talking about when to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's almost 9 o'clock now already. And we usually like to be bed at the latest at 10. So if you want to shower down here.
I mean, all I need to do is wash my hair, so I'll probably just do it in the sink or something. Yeah. I'm not as dirty as I
Tomorrow you'll get dirty.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Becky, I was just wondering, out there you said you want to make sure your children are pure or whatever, and I just wanted to know, what do you mean by pure? How do you define that word?
A lot of our convictions are our convictions that we have gotten just on our walk with God. So we would really appreciate, if the character, the things you say and do, that they're upbuilding for our little children. And that's why I brought it out in the field about keeping yourself pure, so that your dress covers your under parts and stuff.
I think we can do that.
Yeah, don't you worry.
Hannah was the one I would have guessed was a Christian before she said. Really good. So I was very excited about Hannah. Charlotte, I see her as searching. She wants to know more about God.
I don't know what I believe in and what I don't with religion, really. I feel like something's nagging inside me that I need to find out, but I'm not sure quite what it is.
For Charlotte, time with the Amish has allowed her to experience Christian values for the first time. And over the last couple of weeks, she's been exploring how she can become a good Christian.
I've kind of made a little decision that perhaps I would like to believe in, Christianity, believe in God.
That makes my hair stand on end when you say that.
I want to know sort of where this longing for faith kind of came from, really.
It's an empty feeling, I don't have any belief, so perhaps that would fill my emptiness and my doubt.
I think that you need to really look within yourself and see, well, do I want to believe in a God that, that died for me?
Unlike her two English friends, Siana is very clear that Christianity isn't the route for her.
Siana, I would have a lot of questions for you.
She was like, oh, by the way, make sure you pull your skirts down because I want my children to be pure. And I was like...
The people around, the family are all very modest in what they wear and stuff, so for us turning up in our dresses, maybe she's thinking about the society where we've come from and she's scared that we will bring an influence.
I think we have a lot to learn about this family.
Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has set his angels, and has delivered his servants that trusted in him.
As Amish, we live by the word of the Lord, and so to set us on the right course, we like to start each day with a Bible reading.
Make a decree. There he's saying that after this all happened, he made a decree that anybody that doesn't believe the way they do is going to be killed.
The Zook family take their religious observation one step further, with individual prayers being said at breakfast.
Heavenly Father, bless in Jesus' name.
Amen. Lord, I thank you for all the people who've opened up their homes to us. I thank you for the gifts that you've given us.
Lord, I thank you for letting me be here today with this wonderful family. I also thank you, Lord, for allowing me to start this new journey and perhaps believing in Christianity, because it's something I've always thought about, Lord. Amen.
Do you think they still assume that you're a Christian?
I think so. Although I think she'll probably ask me outright at some point, because I didn't pray at the table.
I mean, how are you feeling, man? You seem quite kind of huffy and puffy today.
Huffy and puffy about what? I don't think I'm huffy and puffy.
Yeah, you just seem a little out of sorts.
Really? Well, I don't think you've noticed that. Probably not noticed it, and I don't have anything in particular in my mind.
As farm workers, us men need the strength and good sustenance to work hard, and we have to thank the women for providing us with our daily bread.
Do you have egg beaters in England?
Yeah, lots and lots of them.
Do you make your own cookies at home?
My mum is really, she's trying to get really into baking, so I think she hasn't ventured out and done cookies yet, but she certainly makes a good vanilla or carrot cake.
So where's your dad?
My dad, I don't have one.
I see.
It's quite a complicated story, really.
But you have one, but you don't know where he is.
It's quite a complicated story.
But at least you have a mother that you know.
Yeah, my mum suffices and does everything that a man and a woman could and more. My father was in my life, but my mum had a difficult time. I haven't lived with my dad since I was about 12, really. And now my mum looks after me, my brother and my sister on her own. My mum is small, but she's mighty. I think that she is the most powerful woman I have ever met in my life.
I am hoping you be more religious, have a bit more faith when you come back. See things my way.
Probably won't. I reckon if I'm going to take a book, which I probably should, maybe The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, and I'll read, when they read me a passage from the Bible, I can read.
That is exactly why you're not taking that book to the Amish land.
Richard Dawkins is a bit
extreme. I don't
extreme.
think it's appropriate, okay?
Okay, well that told me. I think it's important to express yourself and do your own thing. I think at all times it's really important to be yourself.
So when you say you don't call yourself a person of faith, what does that mean?
It means I'm an atheist, which is a person who doesn't believe in God.
So what will your answer be to God when Jesus comes?
Well, I don't believe it's going to happen, so I don't really have an answer.
I see. So what if it does happen? What's your answer going to be?
I haven't really thought about it because I don't really believe in it.
We have a good and evil book. Do you want to flip through that and try to figure out if God is real?
No, thank you.
You want to keep with your belief?
Yep.
Till you see something better, right?
Not really, Becky. I think I've already said I grew up as a Christian.
Right.
So I am very, very familiar with the Bible and biblical teachings. I have, however, chosen that that's not the right path for me.
Keep searching. I think at this point she just doesn't think she needs God or whatever. That's what I see in her. If she doesn't know where her daddy is, she definitely has some pain because of that.
Right now I'm annoyed. I think she's got a very firm view of the way her life is and the way life should be. None of my experiences are the same as hers, and we are two very, very different people, so we probably will never see eye to eye.
On an Amish farm, there's always so much to do in a day, We can't afford to have any late starters.
Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, James. So you guys ready to do some tomato picking today? You just need to get right down to it. Just get down on your knees or do whatever it takes to get there. Picking these tomatoes is similar to a marriage. If the person on either side goes over halfway, we get them all picked. If we both just pick a little bit on our side, there's a lot in the middle that aren't picked, you know. Like a marriage, when you both do more than your share, it just works a lot better for some reason.
Interesting. I'll think about that when I eat my tomatoes. Like a marriage.
You might think about that when you get married, too.
If. I think you should try tomato. If you were going to ever try fruit or veg, it should be here. Don't spit it out.
So how'd that go over, James?
I can't believe it.
It's quite nice. I don't taste like ketchup. It's nothing like ketchup. Ketchup tastes nice.
Ketchup's mainly sugar. So do you think it's the hard work and the good food that keeps you healthy?
Well, my personal belief is we're a three-part being. We're spirit, we're soul, and we're body. And when we focus on being healthy and we focus all on the body, we're focusing on about 1/3.
Okay.
But I also believe we need to take care of the soul realm, which is our mind, will, and emotions. And if we have a lot of garbage in there, a lot of hurts, a lot of anger, bitterness, unforgiveness, it will affect our health. I don't care how good you eat. If you're a bitter person, you're not going to be healthy. You are eventually going to get sick. Are we good? Are we good to the end of the row? Good to the barn?
Ephraim spoke about forgiveness, and I'd love to be forgiven if I do something bad, but someone does something like unbelievable to you, I personally would have said, I think they don't deserve forgiveness. I think a Christian would say that I'm quite wrong because everybody should be able to forgive. I know my mum is one of those people, but I think one thing we will never be able to forgive is perhaps what my father did to us. And what I would just do is I just bury that issue, really. I think I won't ever be able to forgive that, really.
Every day we thank the Lord for our good horses, for the work they do, the fun they give us, and also for bringing our Amish community together. About once a month, we'll gather at a local horse auction.
Let's try to get some speed going around here.
It's a chance for us to catch up, as well as buy a horse or two.
How much would a horse like that cost?
It's probably more $200-300. The back one is a donkey and the first one is a pony. You can see the difference by their ears. If you look at the long ears, that's the donkeys.
It's pretty exciting, I thought. Just when you come in and it's so confusing and you've got no idea what's going on. There's the auctioneer.
I thought he was singing.
It does sound a little bit like a country song.
And with horses going at $3,000 a pop, it's not only riveting viewing, there's a particular Amish bidding technique at work.
Was he looking at us then? Did we just buy a horse?
I didn't really realise how much horses meant to them. I knew that they rode about on them, and now I really do understand that they are a central point.
It was definitely more kind of exhilarating than I thought it would be.
Girls, are you okay to go to bed? I think it's time.
Well, it looks like we've been sent to bed tonight, so good night.
I hope you sleep well.
Night, Jamie.
When the girls and the boys hug each other goodbye, it surprises me. It's like, why are you touching each other? Because that's meant for husband and wife. It freaks our children out. Sleep good, Hannah.
You too.
Night, night.
If we see temptation getting in the way of our family or friends, we see it as our job to pass on what the Lord judges to be right.
The beauty of not being together with the man sexually is how I would encourage any girl to do her dating years in there.
For me, a little hug or a little sort of high five or like a peck on the cheek even isn't sort of, it doesn't feel wrong.
Someone I know shared recently that they don't think it would be that wrong to hold hands. It's an affectionate thing, you know, when you're sitting down and chatting. But then it seems to lead to other things. And I think that is why a lot of people would encourage a hands-off courtship.
Don't you think, though, if you do have like sex before marriage, you kind of can learn from that experience and then kind of know what you want, and then kind of when you move on to the other man, you know, your relationship will be stronger because you know what to look for in a man. Don't you think that? Or
No, I don't. I think if you refuse to have sex, then it will put out the ones that want that.
It's probably a bit hypocritical for me to have had sex, but I don't know, it felt right. Me and my boyfriend met on the internet. When I met him, we just sort of clicked and it was lovely. It did go quite fast. It was kind of like, I can't love him now. It was a bit early for that, but I don't know. Just some people you just seem to click with really, really easily.
You said it was going really fast.
Quite fast.
But you didn't seem to have a problem with it. You just went, yeah, that's cool.
I do tend to stay more at Mark's house, mainly because I'm allowed to sleep in the same bed as him. I'm from Hackney in East London. And I've always been brought up as a Baptist Christian. My Christian views on marriage are completely different to other people's. Me and my mum really differ on the subject of sex before marriage. For her personally, she had to save herself till marriage. And so I think it's a little bit difficult for her to understand. I think that God created sex, you know, for people who were in love and for something that was a connection between people. So do you think that once you've done the deed, so to speak, it's too late to backtrack? No. You don't think so?
It's never too late. If someone would ask and you would say, no, I'm going to wait till marriage. You can't tell me, even if they wouldn't kind of mock you, you can't tell me that they wouldn't think, Charlotte has something I want. How can she be so strong? I wish I would have that.
Yeah, no, that would be wicked. Definitely. I'm going to do it. I'm going to see what happens.
You should try it.
I'm going to try it.
Let's do it. It's a deal,
Let's do it. Yeah.
We have like little text messages, so stayed away from sex yet?
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be funny.
Forgiveness is a value us Amish hold very close to our hearts. Back in 2006, our capacity to forgive was seriously challenged when a local man walked into an Amish school and a tragic event unfolded.
There was a little one-room school. One morning a man shows up and he had a gun. And he basically ordered everyone, you know, to follow his commands. And so he got them to completely board up the schoolhouse and, you know, like barricaded himself inside. But the teacher and one of the younger girls managed to slip out.
And they ran for help.
Once he starts to realize that the jig's up, he just starts systematically just shooting them.
The gunman killed 10 young Amish girls before turning the gun on himself.
Those parents that lost their little girls or had their little girls wounded, they choose to publicly forgive the person that did this, that just totally tore their lives apart. And to me, that's a powerful message of forgiveness. If someone can kill your loved one, and you can actually muster up enough of courage through all the pain and grief that you're going through to actually say that, you know what, it is what it is, and I'm not going to carry that, I'm going to forgive him, we're going to move on. To me, that's a courageous example that we should all be able to forgive people in our lives that have hurt us.
I don't know, I think if I was one of those parents, I'd find it quite hard to say, I forgive you.
But could you also agree that it will only continue to hurt you more if you don't forgive him?
you are right. I do agree you're right, but I mean, like, generally, I'm a person who doesn't find much hard to talk about, and I'm pretty open and stuff, but there's a couple of things that I don't, like, I find really, really hard to talk about that I wouldn't want to ever talk about again.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I deal with it, I suppose.
That's how I would have been too, usually.
Yeah?
You know, it doesn't hurt me, I'm tough.
Sounds so much like me. Can't lie,
But, you know, if we would never forgive, I have no idea where our marriage would be.
Probably wouldn't be.
Oh, dear.
So, no, it does take forgiveness.
Have you
with
had
people.
a few rough patches? Yeah, spats, big ones.
Ah, certainly we can spat.
Actually, we're quite good at it.
Oh, dear. I think I kind of like Becky now. Who would have thought? Because she almost seems like a completely different person now. Or maybe she was this person, but we just had to find a way to see eye to eye. And I think we do have some similarities. We're both very stubborn, it seems. And we're both a bit kind of, well, I'm a bit tough, so whatever kind of attitude. That's very true. I'll admit to that. I can say I stand corrected now. I think that she's got a lot to give. Definitely.
In the Amish community, we really value our parent-child relationship. And so many of us choose to homeschool our children. We teach them everything from math, Pennsylvanian Dutch, to buggy driving.
I mean, what was the reason behind your decision to homeschool your children?
Probably the biggest reason was the amount of time that they're not with us, that they're actually at school. And we just started doing some math, and we figured out in an 8-year education, they're out of our presence for almost 10,000 hours. In a sense, it may seem like we're trying to shelter our children from everything else that's out there, and maybe that is a bit true. But at the same time, we realize that the early years in life are very formative years, and negative influences can affect them for life.
Do you guys prefer being home educated?
Yeah. Very much so. I don't think I'd want to go back to school again.
Do you feel like you're learning the same amount or
I'd
more?
say maybe even more.
So now, where you went to school, you went to boarding school all your life, or did you start somewhere else?
I went to boarding school from the age of 10 onwards, pretty much.
So that would be 8 years.
8 years.
And so how many days out of the year are you actually away from home?
210, I think.
So we take 210 times 16. Comes out to 3,360 hours per term. Times 8 years comes out to 26,880 hours.
We thought 10,000 was a lot.
I don't think the Bible teaches us that God gives us children and we delegate the responsibility of training them out to someone else. If primarily we're going to say, look, I'll pay you to educate my child, or I'll pay you to babysit my child, I personally don't believe in that.
As we leave school at 14 and have been helping Dad out ever since we can remember, for us boys, it's only natural to follow in our father's footsteps.
If you could have any job in the world, this is any job, I've given you a massive free pass here, what would you pick?
I don't know. I kind of like construction, but I don't know what I'd pick. Probably construction or concrete.
That would be your job.
Yeah.
So I think back home, if I was to ask an 11-year-old if he could have any job, what he'd pick, they'd probably say a footballer or like I don't know, a millionaire. That would be their job.
Oh.
If you had the option to never work again, but you had a lot of money, so you could do everything you wanted for fun, would you take that?
Probably not.
No?
I'd rather work too. Yeah.
What is it that you like so much about working then?
I guess I grew up just working a lot, and I guess I just learned to like it.
Even at 11 years old, he's got this real strong work ethic. You know, I think when I was 11, thinking about things like working hard is going to make it more satisfying was not something I would even sort of, you know, imagine to contemplate. It was just, you know, when I was 11, I was thinking about was having fun.
But life isn't all work and prayer. We recognize the importance of having some fun time with our children too.
That guy needs to have his love tank filled up. He's just doing all kinds of basically crazy stuff to try to get attention. And all he needs is an hour or two of unconditional love, and his love tank fills up and he's fine. He can run off and play. Nathaniel? Tụi bị khó cái gì ngồi right around. So fun.
Another way of filling up our love tanks is taking time to listen to each other, to share our joys and sorrows.
I'm so thankful that I don't find myself today in a situation married to a second or third wife. I think that's powerful. These boys and girls that are growing up in broken homes, there's many things that they're not contributing to society like they could.
A lot of the time, and maybe in my case, I think that the role of the man never filled it ever. I personally don't feel any worse off than anybody else. I think I've done just fine, and I think my life is just fine.
You have a good home?
My family home will differ slightly to an Amish family home in terms of I wouldn't for a minute say it wasn't as strong, but in terms of its actual logistics, my mum and dad are split up.
When I was 13 or 14, my parents split up. My dad moved away.
I think my mum brought us up all very well. There was 5 of them, so she had quite a lot of buggies, but she done it well. I wouldn't change her, even if I could.
For me, when my parents sort of split up, it was difficult, but I felt my life was still quite stressful, and it was actually easier to not see him completely. I mean, I genuinely can't remember when I last saw him. I think it was around 2 years ago.
So how has that affected your life?
It hasn't.
It hasn't affected it?
No, and I'm the same person now that I would be had my parents have not fallen apart like they did.
How do you know that you wouldn't be different if your dad would have continued to live there?
I think one parent can do the job of 2 in terms of teaching moral values and things like that. I just genuinely sort of believe that I don't think I've missed out on anything. That it is such a common thing back home.
I think it is so great that you don't feel that you missed out. You're not growing up with, I didn't have a daddy or I didn't have a mommy and therefore I'm here where I am. You know, you don't have that mindset. You're going to make the best of it where you are. And I thank each one of you for that. I think that's very great.
I was quite shocked that so many of them thought that it's just okay to have a single parent home. That's kind of the way things are done in our country, and it's not unusual, it's not unheard of, it's actually okay. To me, that was shocking. I think it will motivate me to try to be a good papa, because there's many areas I can improve on, many areas. So.
Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, they're precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world.
You've got a very angelic voice.
It is actually quite angelic. There was an interesting line about black, yellow, and all that, white and stuff like that.
Black and yellow.
That's quite interesting. I was just wondering, earlier you said something today. I just wanted to ask you why you thought that. You said something about, I know you said that you find black people scary, and I just wanted to know why you said that and why you feel that, really.
Well, it's just sort of because they're black, and I am afraid of the darkness, so...
Okay.
So that's why I find black people scary.
Why is that? Is that because you've never seen a black person before?
I've seen hordes of black people in my life.
Oh yeah? And all of them are scary?
No.
No? I think I'm just interested to know where these ideas came from, really.
Okay, let's move on.
Shocking.
Yeah, one word. She's a child, but it's quite ironic that she's been taught a song saying that all people are equal, and then straight after she comes out with stuff like that. So I don't really know what to say, really.
On Saturdays, we like to reward the family's work on the farm by having some good, clean fun with the community.
What were you doing today? I was sewing all day. Sewing all day?
It's the perfect opportunity to share our food and make new friends.
My name's Junior.
Hello, I'm Charlotte. Nice to
And you're Becky's brother?
Yes.
And you are?
but he's not.
These times are an occasion when it's acceptable for us boys to talk with the girls, and for the girls to discuss whether they're up to date with their duties.
I like housework. I love cleaning.
You love housework? I reckon a chore's a chore because it's not fun.
I usually like to race with the clock.
Like
Set
time
a goal,
yourself.
like I want to get this chore done until a certain time.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's such a good, optimistic way of looking at things that are not necessarily the best in life.
Why don't you like housework?
I like difference. I like change. I hate routine. I think that housework is routine.
I've kind of been told I have to do them because I'm a female. In my life, every day I try to learn something new.
You're learning patience if you're doing that.
You're good. I like your attitude to life. It's a massively admirable attitude.
Like most of the Amish women, they don't have a job. They just raise children and
do their housework.
Yeah, the housework is basically their job. So if we don't learn to like it now, then when will we learn to like it?
Well, this evening was definitely a stark contrast to what the rest of the day's been like. It was nice for me to be able to chat and laugh and forget about Martha's strange ideas about people of different ethnicity. Restored my faith in this community again, I suppose.
Sunday is a day we really look forward to. Not only is it the day of rest, but for many Amish youth, it's the time they can meet the opposite sex.
I'm pretty nervous because I don't actually know. I don't know how talkative he's going to be, and if it's just me and him like sat in a buggy, like what do you do?
For what he's looking for in an Amish bride.
Vaseline?
Yeah.
Smooth? Usually I'd take like quite a while to get ready, but this is the quickest time I've ever got ready in my whole life when I'm going about to chat to a boy. Oh,
Hey, hi Charlotte. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Junior. Again.
Want to have a buggy ride?
Yes, I'm
Really?
excited. Oops. When you're on a date, do you kind of think if she's marriage material? Is that what you have in your mind?
Yeah, I wouldn't date a person that I wouldn't think that I would possibly want to marry.
Dating at home it's not what I'd want it to be. I like the way you date, and I find your way very commendable, because also the whole, sexual encounters, I think it's really good that you wait until marriage.
Yeah, as far as purity, I think that's very important in relationships, because it only causes heartaches and stuff. Like if people have sexual encounters before they're married and
I am not going to have any more sex before marriage. I already feel more confident. Before I came out here, I wouldn't have thought that. But now I've made my mind up, and I think this decision is right for me. I really can say no.
As our English friend's time with Ephraim and his family is drawing to a close, it's never too late to raise those burning issues and put them to rest.
Always.
Do you have 5 minutes?
5 minutes?
Real time.
Always.
Can I have a quick chat with you?
Sure.
God. It's quite an uncomfortable issue for me, and I understand it's probably quite a sensitive issue. Like earlier on in the week, we were out in the fields, and Martha said a couple of comments like, well, she's scared of darkness, and she believes that, she believes because of that, she should be scared of black people, and she thinks, she associates them with being like bad people and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I I'm very grateful that you brought it to my attention. It's certainly not my view, so I'm not sure where that came from. It's something we need to definitely discuss with her. Have you been able to forgive her for saying that?
I was really hurt at first, and I did find it quite hard to look at her and be around her.
Really?
Yeah, which is, I feel bad about saying, but I felt really uncomfortable being in the same room as her after she said it. But I thought about it, I went to bed, I woke up, and I was able to forgive, really.
What I've learned in my life is that if I'm going to allow other people to hurt me by their thoughts or remarks or whatever, that's going to be pain in my life. They're going to walk away and they're never going to know the difference. If someone has hurt you, or there's hurts that you've stuffed because I'm not going to deal with them, I'm just going to be tough, as long as they're in there and someone says something like that, it's going to attach, and it's going to bang, it's going to trip. It's going to trip you up. Okay, and my challenge is, and I'm not taking away anything from what Martha did, that was wrong. I apologize for that. The reason that you got offended is because of some buried hurt that's in your life. And that one will return to England with you, unless you get rid of it.
I think you're right.
And I don't want to take you on a guilt trip or anything. That's not my intention. My intention is only to challenge you. I know you're open-minded, and I think you're going to find a way through it.
Oh, you're brilliant, you. You are. Well, you know what, Ephraim? I think I'm going to miss you.
Thank you.
Just a little bit. Early on in the week, I just couldn't stand being here, really. And now I see things a lot clearer, and actually, unknowingly, I've kind of gone through the process of forgiveness, and I feel a lot better and a lot happier. So, yeah. I don't know what to make of that, really. I just find that quite interesting. I've sort of been through a very important process without really realising that I have.
First, I felt that there was definitely something that didn't connect with Siana, but I think something has changed within her. And if she can forgive her dad, so much more things are just going to unfold within her. And yes, I see a very big potential in her.
I haven't had the best overall opinion of men. And so to come here and meet so many very, very good men who respect their wives and know their duties as a man and as a husband and as a father, and I am astounded and very privileged to have seen that, and I'm glad that I've seen that, because it almost puts some of my bitter feelings to rest. To an extent, they've restored my faith.
Siana, if and when and if you ever do get married, would you invite us to your wedding?
Well, I'll think about it. No, of course I'll invite you. Get the seats at the front. Well, maybe Becky gets a seat at the front and you behind. Who says this is going to happen?
We'll pray for you.
Okay, do it.
If we can teach our English friends some Amish goodness, we feel most blessed.
I think something I've noticed after hanging out with Ephraim and sort of all his family is that their family bond is what sort of glues together their whole lives. It's quite romantic just to sort of see like a family working like that, seeing it so strong and like really stable.
Their week spent with another Amish community has made some deep impressions. But some habits just don't change.
You should have heard John Martin. He goes,
oh no.
Boy, they waste a lot of time.
Oh, I love it.
He's right as well.
He's so right.
And sometimes the most unexpected friendships are made.
God bless you.
Yes, thank you for everything. And thank you for getting me up there.
See you, Siana.
You take care of yourself.
Give me that look.
What? Come here. You're too tall. Bye, my darling. You be good, okay?
One thing I'm going to miss is just sitting down and taking time out to just have some of these interesting conversations. And that really make you search and make you think, what do I really believe? You know, what really is the truth in this? I think I'm going to miss that. That was kind of fun.
We have decided that we are to have no more sex until we're married.
I almost feel like you've just made this decision and almost in the heat of the moment that Becky said something to you.
I've been thinking about it.
Do you think some boys back in England will like run a mile? You know,
I say no.
I'm sure they will, but if they do, then it kind of shows they're immature and
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to be with them anyway.
Me personally, I'm not open to that idea.
Where are we, guys?
We're in intercourse.
Intercourse village.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
You'll get to see the sports and tuber Amish. They're probably the most traditional, the most conservative that you'll find around here.
That's your bathtub.
I'm surprised that the rules are so strict.
There's going to be a long list of rules.
So 2 people would just sit there and do their thing.
Yeah.
You take so much for granted.
Massively.
First time I've seen an Amish in a pink sweater, so I could do like this.
I kind of like my clothes back.
Trials and I lay me down to sleep, having thanked the Savior.